John Denver Trending is a movie from 2019 directed by Arden Condez. It's the story of a kid, John Denver, who went trending from a viral video of him attacking a classmate who took his bag suspecting him of stealing his iPad. We never actually learn what happens to this iPad. The movie is about how this viral video ends up affecting John Denver's entire real life. John Denver Trending is a call-out, not on any one person or action, but on an entire culture of people and a whole system of actions. It's less about a singular event and more a discourse on the discourse that can unfold from an event. Discourse may not be the best word though, as it does not propose any countermeasures to this diagnosis, but it's still helpful in a way that screaming at a pillow is. It's a frustrated expression of how our myths make our societies and how now it could also easily destroy the people within them. What makes now so special is the internet and the acceleration of post-truth within it. There's an overwhelming amount of information accessible right now, yet the way we select relevant information is still the same, through our emotions. Confirmation bias has always been a part of human nature. It is only now that we have the information and algorithms that empower this potentially destructive trait. Truth then becomes what is not factually correct, but rather emotionally correct. Social media can offer us the echo chamber of our choice, all of which amplifies our mimetic nature, and thus our tendency to scapegoat. John Denver is demonized. He is literally called demonyo many times, and even has a badly photoshopped picture of him as one. There's a scene in the movie where we are given a brief glimpse into an alleged aswang victim. It's interesting since the aswang is another demonized scapegoat. This is also the caption of that photoshopped image. The whole mythos of the aswang is a prime example of how myths directly change the societies that created it. The scene just showed some wounded guy on the road for a few seconds, and then the townspeople were quick to jump to the conclusion that it was an aswang. The rest of the film consistently provoked discussion around the topic of democracy. In a roundabout way, it proposes that democracy may not be inherently good, especially in this age of post-truth. If a tree stands still but everyone thought they heard it fall, does it make a sound? Well, if a tree falls in a forest and no one was around to film it, then it certainly wouldn't go viral. The internet grants us that mythic ring of Gyges. In that age-old story, Plato proposes that the invisibility that the ring grants the user inevitably leads to their corruption. This idea was made popular by the Lord of the Rings movies, but I think the movie that really gives this idea a good exploration is Face of Another from 1996 by Hiroshi Teshigahara. Highly recommend it. Anyway, these stories all point to something that I'm sure we have all observed too. This anonymity that people are granted on the internet is another way that it brings out evil in us. It just makes it way too easy to avoid consequences. The film portrays the anonymity of those harming, not merely online. The scenes of harm being inflicted in this movie, such as casting a stone, biblical reference there, but I digress, and also the scene of doctoring a video to create another viral misconstruction of reality. These scenes don't reveal the ones who did it. What's frustrating about this invisibility that social media grants us is how easily it could also just go the complete opposite direction. The instantaneous spreading of information increases the visibility and therefore the vulnerability of its chosen victim. And it also makes it easier to examine so much of a person through a distorted lens. This is even scarier, knowing that the assumption that the good have nothing to hide is simply not true. Crime is also socially constructed, and a major ingredient of it is attention. No matter how innocent you are, the longer you talk to a police officer, the more chances your actions will be misconstrued as something they just would not allow. Now, in the realm of social media, we are in no shortage of access to attention. This makes us hold dear whatever privacy we have left, and we are now at that stage where not wanting our privacy to be breached is assumed to be concealing something nefarious. These make situations where there is no way out. John Denver is seen only either slowly trudging or running. His mother has even nagged him for both actions. It was consistently frustrating to internally scream at him on the screen to do something, and next minute I'd cross my fingers tight that he not do anything at all. For when he is passive, he'll appear guilty since he just accepts the blame. Yet when he's active, he'll appear guilty because he is being defensive. It is true that anything you say or do will be used against you, and it's scary now that we can track whatever you say, do, did, or even whatever we want to believe you did. So much more worse things could have happened too, but I'm glad there was some restraint on that part. The story doesn't become some slippery slope fallacy. Limiting the tragedy that ensued gave a chilling sense that this really could happen to anyone right now, and the right nowness of the movie adds a lot to my adoration of it. It even mentions the Spider-Man movie coming out a month before, which was true in the present reality while I was watching the movie when it just came out. Its engagement with contemporary issues, with immediacy, makes this extremely resonant for us viewers who will still experience these horrors even after the credits roll and we switch to the smaller screens that we hold in our hands all the time. It also interests me what will become of this film as a cultural artifact from this phase of social construction that will, with the internet as catalyst, inevitably change in unfathomable ways, faster than we may expect. There is a universality that can be found in it, as I've mentioned earlier. We might just be doing what humans have always done, only now with much more advanced tools. I don't think that this means we can't learn and somehow prevent it though, as I think that's exactly what this film is calling us to do.